Hello, welcome back to KXAN Live. I'm your anchor, Esmeralda Zamora, and today we have our space-based segment with Eric Henriksen. Eric, how are you doing today?
I am doing excellent. I like the weather right now. I like everything that's going on in the world. That's not true, but let's say that, sure. I've had a good day. I don't know. My day's been really fun. I got to see some cool science this morning. So
everything happening around us here in the newsroom is A-okay. So
newsroom, great today. There's some candy out. Kristen Curry put out some little chocolates.
Cheese.
Oh yeah, there was cheese too. I didn't eat the cheese. I just ate the chocolate and M&Ms. So yeah, what can you do?
It's always a treat here. But today, what are we talking about? We're talking about something pretty scary, right?
It is scary, but I want to reassure people what we're talking about is it's more scary in the abstract. It's scary if you are really concerned about if you like the lotto, this might be scary for you. If you think you have a really good chance of winning the lotto, this might be scary. The likelihood of this happening is pretty low. So it's an asteroid hitting the Earth, a specific asteroid hitting the Earth. The likelihood of us being hit by an asteroid higher than this. But this asteroid we're talking about today, coming towards Earth in 7 years, low chance of it hitting us, but we want to talk about it because it is important to talk about.
I feel a special connection because they discovered this asteroid on my birthday.
Yes, so this is your asteroid. This is all your fault. Remember a few months ago we talked about how they name asteroids, and they don't name asteroids that have a chance of hitting us.
So this one has no name?
Has no name? It has like a number, but it's not going to be named
Gosh.
the Esmeralda Zamora.
No, please don't name it after me. I don't want to be responsible.
Not your fault. The official name of it is 2024 YR4. So it was discovered in 2024. I forget what the YR4 means. It's the moniker, yeah. So not a sexy name. So let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about this asteroid. So here's what we know about it. It was discovered last year. It was discovered on December 27th, 2024. It is 131 feet to 295 feet. So somewhere between there, 131 to 295. The comparison I keep saying is Cinderella's castle at Walt Disney World. It's about the size of how wide that is, if you've ever been to Walt Disney World.
Yep.
So that's not, when we're talking about space, we're talking about asteroids, that's not small, but it's not huge, right? It's to the point where it's dangerous to some degree, but it won't wipe us out.
It will just wipe a certain area out.
It could, conceivably. Yeah, so it's traveling at 30,000 miles per hour, and it has a roughly 2.3% chance of hitting us.
That's a chance.
That is a chance. It's more than 1%. There's this scale that NASA uses called, I'm going to look at the name before I forget. It is the Torino Impact Hazard Scale. It's 0 to 10. 0, if an asteroid's ranked as a 0, no chance of hitting us. If it's at a 10, it's going to wipe out all life on the planet. This is at a 3. So very low. It reaches the 3 threshold, which if you look at the chart, it's actually in the yellow. It reaches that when it passes over the 1% chance of hitting us. So that's when it reaches the level of concern, is when it's over that 1% chance. But this is a level 3 because it is that 2.3% chance. And when it would hit us, possibly, would be December 22nd, 2032. Again.
Awesome. My birthday again.
Yeah, right. I'm sneaking up on you, doesn't it? So 7 years from now, they also will pass by the Earth. If it misses us then, there's 6 more chances between then and 2074.
What?
Yeah, so it is just kind of in an orbit similar to the Earth. And because of that, there is a chance it could hit us. But space is big, and there's a lot to learn. And what we know now could change in 5-6 years. We also have ways to prevent impacts, so keep that in mind. And again, it's relatively small. It could cause a lot of damage if it hit the right spot, but it may not hit that spot. The likelihood of it hitting a very damaging spot is relatively low, and closer to that date, we will learn more about, if it does hit us, where it would hit us.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's say if it does hit us, what is one of the biggest impacts it could possibly have on us?
So I saw one comparison that it could have the impact of 500 bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima, the atomic bomb, the first atomic bomb that was dropped. 500 times that strength. The comparison points are the Tunguska event in 1908, and that was a similar sized asteroid hit an area of northeastern Russia. I always mess up the cardinal directions. Northeastern Russia, and flattened a forest, and that was like 830 square miles of forest. And it's in a. If you ever read a lot of science fiction, Tunguska event listed in a lot of science fiction. There's another one. You guys might remember this one. In 2013, there was a smaller asteroid that exploded over Russia, caused this big green glow, and caused a lot of damage to the buildings below. So it can cause a lot of damage. This would be similar in size of those, where if it, say, hit a city, it could potentially wipe out the city. It could cause a small tidal wave. It could wipe out a forest, that kind of thing. Not wipe out human race. That's very important. It wouldn't wipe us out. It will only damage a small area when it does hit.
Only wipe some of us out.
No one's getting wiped out. Let's be clear. No one's getting wiped out by this, but it could cause some severe damage to an area where it impacts. Keep in mind, most of the planet is ocean, so it will most likely hit the ocean if it hits a runner.
Wipe out the sharks population?
Like tossing a pebble in a pool. Just a bloop.
Okay.
And just like little, like it could cause like a little mini tidal wave, but like, I mean mini. Like, you'd have a big wave. So that kind of damage we're talking about. Again, worth noting, if it did hit like a city, we'll know more closer to collision date until 2032. We would know more closer to that date, where it could possibly hit. We would know where to evacuate, that kind of thing. It has to
be prepared.
Right. We have plenty of time to prepare. We also have time to get the technology that they're working on right now. NASA has this thing, DART, where they launch a rocket at an asteroid. We've talked about this in the past, and they can knock it off course. So they could potentially in 7 years get that further up to speed and knock this off course. So we have ways to work around it. There's also the moon between us and the asteroid.
Question.
Yeah.
What happens if it hits our moon?
So it could leave a big crater. I have a 1.2 mile wide crater is what they would think. And that has a 0.3% chance of hitting the moon. So it's actually less likely to hit the moon than the Earth, but it is there. The moon is really there to kind of
Protect us.
Protect us. It is. It collects stuff that hits it. That's why it's covered in craters. We also have erosion and stuff on the planet. The craters we do have are kind of hidden. But it's there. It gets a lot of impact. Stuff hits it all the time. So it's kind of there to be hit. It's like a little shield for us.
Let's say this asteroid is a lot bigger than Cinderella's castle and it does wipe out our moon. What could that mean for us?
Wow. Well, the moon, if a much larger asteroid, now this one's not that, but if a much larger asteroid hit the moon was destroyed, that would be a world-ending event. Yeah. It would fall on the planet and wipe us out.
Fall on our planet?
Yes. But because of gravity, it would just pull it in, and we might get like a ring or something, but there'd be a lot of damage. It would devastate the planet. This is not that. Keep that in mind. This is a very small relative asteroid, and I think that size that could really damage the moon, I think we would know about it well ahead of time.
Yeah. So who's tracking this specific asteroid?
So quite a few. They're using, I have a list here for you, the Very Large Telescope in Chile, the Pan-STARRS Telescope in Hawaii, which I visited and is really cool. You can go up top of the mountain and see it. The Magdalena Ridge Observatory in New Mexico is also looking at it. There's a bunch of those. James Webb Space Telescope, which you may remember we launched, what was that, 3 years ago now? That's the really big telescope we have in space. It looks deep back in time. Really, really cool telescope. It's going to observe it in March and May of this year. And if it misses it, there's a couple more chances in April. If it lose it by April, they can get it in June of 2028. So we have a few more chances to observe this before it comes back around and causes any sort of threat to us. And we're going to keep an observation on it. And I think by the time it's on its way, we'll have an idea of what's going to happen.
So you've been tracking this specific asteroid for a little bit. You published an article today. What are scientists saying about it? What are people saying about it?
I mean, they're saying like the risks are low. They're going to keep an eye on it. But it is just something to note that we do have stuff out there that could cause potential harm to the planet. And we are watching it. We have multiple systems around the world. NASA, the European Space Agency are all watching these kind of events, letting us know, hey, it's very, very low. 2% of objects of a similar size have been detected so far. So that tells you like these things are out there, it's
nothing new.
Right. If the percentage increases by a couple percent that it could hit the Earth, again, those odds are really low and it is really small comparatively. And so we're going to keep an eye on it. We have 7 years. We can do a lot with 7 years. So that's kind of the big message. We can do a lot, keeping an eye on it. Nothing to be alarmed about, but it is interesting.
Yeah. In our history, have we seen an asteroid either headed to Earth or on the same kind of track that missed us?
Oh, all the time. We had some. When did we talk? Was it early
Yeah, I
mid
remember.
January? We had one the size of a school bus that zipped by us. We had a couple. Yeah, they pass by us all the time.
Yep.
There was I think 7 we looked at that week that were just kind of flying by Earth.
But none of them were directly originally supposed to hit Earth.
And when there's been quite a few where they've said, "Hey, this has a chance," and then the more they study it, they drop it down. So that's pretty common. That is them doing the math and going, by them I mean scientists with NASA, European Space Agency, stuff like that, doing the math and going, okay, we're in the clear. And you would know if one's coming towards us like this.
Yeah, we would hear it everywhere.
You would hope, yeah.
So bottom line, what do people need to know about this specific asteroid?
Scientists are keeping an eye on it. We've got telescopes. We have ways to defend ourselves. It's not that big of a deal, damage-wise.
Don't get
It
scared.
could cause some damage, but it's not going to wipe out all life on Earth, and we'll know about where it could hit if it does hit us well in advance and be able to evacuate rough periods. I don't think they're going to be able to, based on the way we typically understand impacts, they're probably not going to be able to say it's going to hit these square miles of Kentucky. It's not going to be like that. It's going to hit this part of this country.
Oh,
And so you would need to evacuate that part of that country. But again, we'll know well in advance.
hopefully.
We are watching these things.
And if it does get any more serious, we can talk about it right here.
We can talk about, we will know, I think we're going to know more in the next few months just based on their observations. And we'll update you as we have more information.
Yeah, and we do have your article that I do want to share.
Mm-hmm.
It's titled Asteroid 2024 YR4 is on a possible collision course with Earth. You can find this article on our website, kxan.com, on the homepage. Tell me, what else is in this article that we didn't get to touch on?
There's right there, that's the one thing I didn't get to show you is that GIF from NASA that shows that's the asteroid right there.
Do you think it's moving pretty quickly?
No.
No.
I mean, it is 30,000 miles per hour, but it's not like zoop. It's moving far in space. It's far away from us right now. So
Well, if it's going to take 7 years, it must be going pretty
Yeah.
slow.
yeah, it's going to orbit back around and then hit us. So
all
we'll see.
of the details of the
Right.
risks, the impacts, all of that good stuff is on this article and also on our socials if anyone is interested in going to look at that. Other than that, is there anything else you would like to share with us?
No, that's it. Good positive news. We got more cool stuff coming next few weeks. Oh, if you haven't checked out What Remains, KXAN's new documentary, that's on our homepage right now from Jennifer Sanders, Kelly Wiley, Deala Washington. They did a great job putting that thing together. A whole great team. I'm just naming the 3 of them, but there's like 5 other people involved. Fantastic documentary. I watched it during my lunch break this morning.
Oh.
So it's like 22 minutes and very good job. They should watch that. Go watch that.
Yeah, right on our homepage,
Right on our homepage.
kxan.com. You can find it. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And that's all we have today on our space-based segment. We'll be back next week. Actually, we won't be back next week.
Yeah, we're off next week.
We're off next week. But we'll be back the following week with our space-based segment, and we hope everyone to join us. Thank you.